Hey, good day, good afternoon, and wherever you are in the world. My name is Marcel Hyde, channel Marcel Mindset.
One, two, three, four.
I want to remind you guys, please hit that subscribe button below, hit that notification bell, because these are episodes that you don't want to miss out on. For those of you out there, if you're lacking in faith, you're lacking in hope, God is there for you. God is willing to guide you and lead you and direct you. Hello, world, and welcome to Marcel Mindset TV. Today, we have a very special episode. This is episode 10. I have a very special friend on the show today. I actually went to high school with this guy. He looks completely different. When we talk about transformation, the word transformation, this guy defines transformation. And in your life, if you want to change, sometimes you got to make a transformation. And you're going to hear this guy's story today. All right. So I want to remind you guys, please hit that like button below. Subscribe to the channel so you guys are getting the value, you're getting the education, you're developing, you're growing. This is the new school. This is the new education right here. So, episode 10, we're about to rock and roll. I'd like to introduce to the show, Ivan Miskiv. How you doing, Ivan?
Thanks, Marcel. Thank you. I'm doing well, man. Thanks for having me on the show.
Yeah, that's great. And thank you for coming on, man, because I know you're extremely busy dealing with a lot of clients and you're making a lot of change in people's lives. So I'd like
That's
to
right.
ask,
That's right.
that's great. And I'd like to ask you, because I know who you are, I know you fairly well. Who is Ivan Miskiv?
Whew. That's a big question, Marcel. I'm happy you asked that question. But first and foremost, I am a lifelong learner. I love the ability to learn on a continuous basis. I've learned when we were in school together. I'm still learning now, and I never want to stop learning. And along that path of learning is also traveling. And by traveling, I'm able to really experience life on a different perspective, on a different plane, and that's added value into my own life, not only personally but also professionally. And so, being born in Toronto, but with European roots in Ukraine and Croatia, I definitely valued culture and the ability to speak many languages, adding value into both aspects of my life, professionally and personally. So basically for me, as Marcel mentioned, and as you mentioned, Marcel, is that I myself have gone through my own fitness and health transformation. And when I began, when we were in school together, I wasn't what I am right now. So for those who can't believe it, I had a lot of stuttering. I was not confident in my self-image. I was shy. And now I've really kind of gone out of my shell. And I think now I'm really adding value not only to my life, but to those who I'm interacting with. So fitness has become my identity. It's just who I am. And so when everything I do on a daily basis is just part of my life. And so being a lifestyle coach now, I'm able to help professionals maximize their potential by increasing their energy and strength so that they can have a greater ability to focus on achieving success in both their personal and professional life. And so I try to support clients in this way by either training with them or consulting with them. And I carry this out both in person and virtually.
Wow, that's fantastic, man, because I've been following you for quite some time, and you are honestly, truly, really transforming so many lives. And I really like how you said you're a lifelong learner, and that's what it takes. You know, your success comes from the learning. So hats off to you, my friend, and all the best with this journey that you're on. So we asked, you said lifestyle and movement coach. So, the audience wants to kind of know, what are the benefits of hiring a lifestyle and movement coach?
Well, personally, for me, I find if someone looking to improve their fitness and health from a holistic perspective, this is a great place to start, because fitness and nutrition and movement are super important, but there are so many other aspects that one person not even entering or even discussing about when it comes to their lifestyle. So someone who really wants to make those changes, maybe fitness and nutrition and movement isn't the initial starting point. It could be looking at mental health. It could be looking at their sleep schedule. It could be looking at how do we reduce or manage stress.
Right.
And so someone who's looking to become more consistent in their routine in a way that's sustainable long term, this is the place. And I want to teach someone to build those habits consistently and repeatedly every day of their life, so that this is something that they can do not only today, not only next year, for the rest of their life, because this isn't for the quick fixes and the quick results. And if you're looking for that, I can show you another way. But if you're looking for that sustainability and that success,
Right.
personally, professionally, that's the benefit of hiring a lifestyle coach.
Great. I like that a lot. So at the end of the show, you guys will have the opportunity to hear where you can reach out to Ivan. But I like how you say there's no quick fix. There's no quick fix out here, guys. There's no quick fix to success. There's no quick fix to having the body that you want. It's going to take time. It's going to take consistency, like Ivan said. So right now, fitness is huge, right? People talk about fitness. We see Instagram posts about fitness. We hear different things about fitness. So a lot of people might be confused about fitness. So I want to ask you, how important is fitness in someone's life? And why should we focus on fitness?
Well, I truly believe that fitness is a powerful antidote in helping someone improve their overall quality of life. Wow. And so simply by just increasing your level of daily activity can have a drastic effect on not only that aspect, but on every other aspect of your lifestyle. Wow. Whether it's mental, whether it's physiological and physical, right? So, and these things, and our ability my job is to help clients or work alongside clients together to customize an approach that best suits their current situation. Right. And so one day maybe they have a really stressful week. So maybe fitness is not going to be their main priority, and that's okay. Let's shift that to maybe sleeping better. So let's focus on getting a nice bedtime routine so that you're able to sleep effectively, and versus quantity, it's more quality. You're waking up refreshed, ready to do and go to work and feel energized, versus I'm going to add more stress to my life by needing to work out where I just don't have the time to do it. Right. So it's looking at those approaches. And so I think fitness can really help someone start. And some of the benefits are, I think we've all known, maybe the listener is going to be hearing this for the first time, but you release endorphins, right? It's kind of is a positive feeling, and similar to morphine in a sense that you're able to release this naturally in your body, kind of the runner's high, as people have been maybe speaking in the social media world. This helps automatically to relieve pain, to relieve stress, to improve your sense of well-being. And so fitness is also not just spending hours lifting weights in the gym, right? Or running for hours on a treadmill, right? That's far from the truth. A simple walk or a simple stretch in the morning can add so much value and make health deposits into your health account.
Right. I really like that. That's great. So fitness really improves your overall quality of life. And like Ivan was saying, it reduces endorphins, which is like positivity. Don't you guys want to feel good? Come on. And it also, fitness transfers to other areas of your life, which I really, really like. And I see that for myself. All right. So thank you for that, Ivan. So I see, out there, a lot of people, they lack self-esteem, confidence, self-esteem. And, I know you got a lot of that, man. You got a lot of confidence. Your self-esteem is high. And people want that, Ivan. People really, really want that. So my question to you is, how can someone build their self-esteem?
Well, And personally, one simple way that you can start to engage is just to do things you simply enjoy doing.
Wow.
Right? Something that you are good at. Like start there, because that's really going to come out in what you do. If you're really passionate about what you're doing, that's going to give you those small wins can really build momentum and have a domino effect on, again, other areas of your life. Right. So the key part here is to focus on the journey, not the destination.
Wow.
We've all heard about that, right? Being present, focusing on those steps you're taking every day, and then as a byproduct, those results will come.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
A lot of us can kind of get caught up in the results and lose sight of that process. And I think that's the process where you do learn the most, and you do learn the most about yourself as a person.
Wow, that's huge. Focus on the journey, not the definition, the destination. Ivan said it here today. Wow, because we get so caught up on where we want to go. But we got to realize we got to go through that journey and enjoy that process, enjoy that journey. You'll eventually get there. And I've been saying, to build that self-esteem, you want to do things that you're good at and just keep getting better at it. Just keep getting better, and then your confidence grows. And we can see that from you.
So and also along that point as well, when you're saying that if you find yourself that maybe you don't have those motivations sometimes, and we do have those difficult days where we just don't want to do it, and that's okay. But if you can surround yourself with the people that are around you that are going to uplift you and support your decisions, that's going to make it so much better when you do have those difficult days. And so it's really important to support that and have that support around you, because we're all humans. We all have our good and bad days, and it's important to understand that. And so that if we're ready to have that support system around us, it's going to uplift us versus bring us down.
Wow. Make sure you guys have a strong support system around you. And I'm working on that myself, because just being around you right now, Ivan, is really inspiring me to do more. Once I get off this call, I'm going to start working more, because I just feel that you're really plugged in, you're locked in, you're passionate, you're committed, you're dedicated, you're disciplined. I can just feel that from you, and I want that too. So it's very important you surround yourself with people like Ivan, So, you seem like you have so much experience. You've been on this journey, you've transformed yourself. So there's so much value that you can add and you can bring to the table here and help our audience. So I want to ask you, what are 3 things you have learned on your journey that you would think would help our audience on their journey?
Well, first and foremost, I think a lot of times when I speak to clients or just friends and having conversations with people along my world travels is just building awareness. Wow. When you can kind of understand your baseline, where you're starting from, things like what you're eating or how you're thinking or how active you are on a daily basis, because a lot of us are quick to make changes. Right? Yeah. We all want results yesterday. and when we kind of don't get them, we get upset. So it's important to understand that before making changes, what are we trying to change? Right? Understanding that, hey, maybe doing that quick whatever keto diet, maybe for us doesn't work, because maybe we're already doing something very well. And maybe being a little more active can look like this, but not like this. And so depending on where you're starting from, your current habits, we can make calculated changes that will directly enhance your current behaviors. So that's number one. Number one. Number 2 is I would always recommend people to just question your current belief system.
Wow.
And your current way of thinking. This is a big one, because a lot of times we go through life and subconsciously and consciously, we exhibit certain behaviors and thought processes, right? And we don't need to make changes right away when we question this, right? Just to kind of begin to understand, why are we thinking this way, right? Why are we believing a certain aspect or a component of this thought process that we're going through, and how can maybe we better approach something that we never thought was possible? Right? Like back to the idea about lifting weights. I was a big weightlifter back when I was in school and trying to become the bodybuilder that many guys out there and listening can attest to. But it doesn't have to be that way. It doesn't have to always look like you're lifting weights. Your body can really add or have value from just a simple walk, like I mentioned, or a stretch. And so based on your current situation, you might have to go that way. So that's number 2. Number 3 is just being honest with yourself and take responsibility of your own life, right? If you truly want to make changes to your lifestyle, you need to reprioritize what is truly important in your life, right? You need to put yourself first, number one. Right? No one is going to do it for you, right? Right.
Yep.
Make sure that you do it for yourself and not for someone else, because right, people are going to come and go in our lives, but
Yep.
you're going to stay true to yourself. And if you know exactly what you are and what you want to get out of life, that's going to be very important. So a good place to start is ask yourself why 5 times. So let's take, for example, losing weight, right? Ask yourself this: why do I want to lose weight? That's the first one, right? And then from there, why do I want to achieve that? So whatever you said from that, why do I want to achieve that aspect? Then from there, why is that important? Right? Why will this then make a difference in my life? And then finally, why will this matter? So when you're kind of able to understand that eventually losing weight isn't losing weight, it's about feeling more productive at work. I want to be able to spend time with my kids after school. I do want to hang out with my friends after work. So if you can understand why I'm doing something, losing weight doesn't become the main focus. It becomes, and your motivation becomes, spending time with friends. I'm going to go to this place today. I don't want to go, but I want it because I want to be able to spend time with my friends a month from now, a year from now, because I can't maintain endurance to go for hikes. I love to do hikes, but I can't not do it.
Right. Wow. You guys got to hire this guy, man, because he just dropped nothing but gems right there. Life-changing things, man. Put yourself first. That is something that I had to learn. That's something that I had to work on, was putting myself first and also being honest with yourself. Stop lying to yourself. You're not going to grow if you lie to yourself. And you also said, build awareness, have awareness, okay? Be aware of what you're doing. And then you also said, you question your current belief system. And that's a big one, you know, because Ivan talked about the subconscious and the conscious mind. You can really dive deep into that. And Ivan has more tips and tools in regards to your subconscious. Maybe you're just acting and not even thinking because you've been programmed a certain way. So Ivan can dive deep into that. So you're going to want to contact him to discuss that, because he touched on a very important thing. Those habits are subconscious, the ones that you're doing on a daily basis. Thank you, Ivan. So valuable. So, you know, I've been to high school. You've been to high school, and we're going to have high school kids watch us because we're kind of in the millennial generation. So I'm hoping that this podcast can be reached out by high school students, because I want to help them. I want to prep them for life and prepare them. You know, I was prepped, I was prepared, and in turn, it resulted in me starting a podcast and me believing in myself. So I'm hoping that this podcast can inspire our future generation. So if you had an opportunity to speak to a group of grade 9 students, what would you tell them about the next 4 years of high school?
What I would do is, first and foremost, is create as many experiences as you can.
Wow.
And what I mean by that is get yourself with people, get yourself around people, get yourself in different situations, and talk to as many people as you can. Network with your teachers, with your friends, even the janitors.
Yep.
Like, you never know who and how they might help you down the road.
Exactly.
Right?
Yep.
That's a big one. And that's been instrumental in my life.
Yep.
Another one could be just ask questions, right? Be curious. Don't believe everything you hear. Challenge others in a healthy and a positive way.
Yep.
Challenge people's thoughts, right? It's not what you say, it's how you say it.
Yeah.
And so it can really be like, hey, this person's lashing out at me, and maybe not. They're trying to say it in a different way and trying to enlighten my perspective or give me a different idea about what I'm trying to improve upon or actually get better at.
Right.
Another one I would recommend is be present. It's a hard one. Yep. Enjoy the moment that you are. Like, have an idea for the future, reflect on the past, but try to really be present in those moments, those interactions with each other. And because time flies, and I think Marcel can attest to this, as you get older, time goes by quickly, but you can really slow things down when you're in that present moment.
Wow.
And it's a big one. Yeah. And then finally, I think being a part of something bigger than yourself.
Wow.
And what I mean by that is just join a sports team, right? Be a part of a community, volunteer somewhere, give back to the community. Because if you can get as much hands-on experience And that could eventually become your full-time job. You never know, right? If you volunteer at a basic, I don't know, whatever it is, a food community or bike shop, and you kind of like, wow, this is actually cool. I want to do this. That might inspire you to pursue that as a career down the road. So you never know those experiences you interact with. That could be your next potential employer.
That's true, 100%. I like that, Ivan. And I like how you said create as many experiences as you can and network, because at the end of the day, the person in your classroom today, they may not be the next best lifestyle movement coach, but in the future, that's who they may be. So it's a good thing to network with them. And if I didn't network, Ivan didn't network, we wouldn't be sitting here today, because we built that relationship. And you said, be curious and challenge things in a positive and healthy way, right? And that's good. And I like how you said, it's not what you say, it's how you say it. That's a key one. Learn that one. It's not what you say, but it's how you say it. And be present. Sometimes we're thinking about the future all the time, and the future's not here. Sometimes we're thinking about the past, and the past is gone. You want to be present. Enjoy that moment that you're in. Give your full self to that moment. I really like that. And be a part of something bigger than yourself. That's huge, because I was a part of something bigger than myself. Ivan was a part of something bigger than himself. And those are memories that I'm going to bring with me forever. It was a great experience. I learned so much about myself, and I met some great people along the way. So thank you, Ivan. Mindset. This is Marcel Mindset TV. My logo, my theme, my whole, what I embody is mindset is everything. You guys got to have a strong mindset, right? So, Ivan, what does mindset mean to you, and how can someone develop a strong mindset?
That's a very good question, Marcel. And I think mindset is still a fairly new concept. Maybe it's used in different ways and different aspects. But for me, mindset is the ability to control my thoughts.
Wow.
Every day we have about 6,000 thoughts that enter our brain, right? Most of these thoughts are repeated thoughts, and a lot of them are not always positive or uplifting. And instead of showing self-compassion, we look at the negative aspects of oneself. Maybe we focus on things that we haven't yet achieved, or aspects of our self-image we don't necessarily like. Right. So if we can begin to just become aware of those thoughts, again, we're not making changes today, we're just becoming aware of those thoughts, so that as we begin to understand our current train of thought, we can potentially reprogram those thoughts and begin to change the outlook of our life.
Right.
And so it does take the time to understand your thought process, but if you kind of slow things down, right, try to focus on, maybe put a journal down. Like a good kind of tip is just kind of keep your thoughts in a journal, because that will, a lot of times we have it up here, and then when we look back at a journal, we're like, oh, I actually wrote that like a couple of years ago, months ago. It's like, that actually was my thought process back then, but now it's different. Yeah. So you can develop this in many ways, but one way you can develop a strong mindset is by seeing challenges as an opportunity to grow and learn.
Wow.
Right? Not being afraid to step out of your comfort zone and push those limits. Again, we all have different ways of how we push those limits, but trying to just understand that, hey, this is where I am right now. I want to get here. How do I get here in a nice, healthy way that's going to be pushing myself consistently, right? And so sometimes we have to do things that we just don't like doing. And it's hard. It's not easy. And I'm not going to be here saying, hey guys, like everything is achievable. It is, if you got to put the hard work in. And it's important that you get in and do things that sometimes you just don't want to do. Right? I know probably from just Marcel and hearing him over the years, that I know a lot of people that I speak to, there are bad days, right? I don't want to go to the gym. I don't want to eat this food. But if you can kind of have those things pre-planned, right? Maybe you're making a meal before you go to bed, and so that meal is ready to go on a very busy Wednesday morning day, for example, right? That's out of your thought process. It's already done. You wake up and it's like, oh, I got to think of a meal. I got to think of this and this. No, it's already done. That's off my plate. I can focus on this. As an example, right? So our motivation is fleeting. It comes and goes, right? It drains our willpower will be drained, but it's up to everyone listening here to really surround yourself and your environment with positive influencers that keep pushing you, so that it can constantly recharge your willpower, and then again, add deposits into your health account.
Wow. That is impactful. Thank you so much. And I strongly believe in controlling my thoughts, because to me, thoughts become things. If I start thinking negative thoughts, you guys see that you get negative results. When you start thinking positive things, you get positive results with the action that you're doing. So I really like that. And journal what's in your head. Because like Ivan said, you have all these things up in your head. Write it down, and then you can look back and see, what was I thinking this day? Okay, I was thinking so negatively. No wonder nothing worked out for me that day. What was I thinking that day that things worked out? I was so positive. I had a positive outlook. So you guys want to be journaling as well. And like you said, you got to see challenges as an opportunity to grow and learn. Because without challenges, without adversity, you're not going to grow. All right. Thank you, Ivan. So we talk about passion, right? And passion's a topic in our era today that people are like, I want to do something I'm passionate about, or I can't find my passion, right? Because a lot of people are lost, and they're, maybe they're working a job right now that they're not satisfied with, they don't enjoy, and they're just doing it because it's paying their mortgage, it's paying their rent, but they're doing that. But a lot of people really, the true happiness in life will come from following your passion and doing what you're passionate about, because you spend the majority of your time working, so you want to do something you're passionate about. So I want to ask you, Ivan, because you found your passion, how can someone find their passion, and is it possible to monetize your passion?
I thought no, but as the years went on, I really thought to myself that yeah, it is possible. And one way you could find your passion is ask yourself, what makes you happy,
Yeah.
right? Why do I get up every day?
Yeah.
Or what makes me get up every day? Is it a certain person, a certain aspect of my life that really gets me up, right? How can I make myself and those around me a little bit better than yesterday,
Yeah.
right? And if I can make this world a better place for myself now and for future generations, how do I do that? And we all have different passions. And so if we can kind of understand, yeah, we have a current job, maybe it's not satisfying us at that level, but maybe it could be something on the side, maybe spending a couple hours on the weekend and focusing on your passion. And because maybe you can have to balance those two things at first. And I think from your point of view, you obviously had a different career before this one, kind of where you kind of transitioning to this different lifestyle, but you had it on the side. You didn't just go from 1 to 0. Like you went from this full-time job and you were putting in the hard work to develop this other sort of position, right?
Yeah, it's true. I like that.
So it's important to have that. Yes, we're working, but you have to sacrifice. If you really want that passion to become your full-time job, you might have to make sacrifices. Maybe your weekends are going to be a little different. Maybe it won't be necessarily going out all the time, or maybe it's going to be staying in and doing that work, because that's going to really add value down the road. Might not necessarily notice initially or right now, but if you can really set aside some time and focus on your passion,
Right.
I truly believe that can become your career full-time. And so I do believe that you can monetize your passion, and by understanding what value you are bringing to the people, right? And what service or product are you going to be doing to help satisfy that need for people? And so it's important to find a job or a passion that you really enjoy, because it's going to make life seem so different in the sense that it no longer becomes a job. It just becomes something that you do.
Exactly.
And as a result of what you do, you get money for it. So that's an amazing feeling. And I think I'm still figuring out exactly how that looks for me. And I'm not this perfect situation just yet. But I want other people to realize that it does take the time. It does take the work. And you have to really understand that if it's something that you want to achieve, go out and get it.
I love that, Ivan. It takes time and it takes a lot of work. And like Ivan was saying, sometimes you might have that full-time job that you don't like. That's fine. That's okay. It pays the bills. Be grateful for that opportunity, right? Because at least it's giving you money. But also, if there's something else that you're passionate about, make sure you're spending time, a lot of time on that, so you can grow and develop that. And at one point, you can transition into that full time. But if you're at your full-time job, you hate your full-time job, and you have a passion, you're not working on your passion, you're going to be stuck there, or you're going to stay there and build over there, right? So it is possible, but does take a lot of time. It takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of sacrifice. Instead of going to the bar, the club, you're at home developing your skills in the passion that you love to do. All right. So thank you for that, Ivan, because a lot of people are lost. And on this channel, we want to help you find what your passion is, find yourself. Okay. So that's fantastic. All right. So, we're kind of wrapping things up here. We have two more questions. And I always want to acknowledge mental health, right? Because I was in the mental health field and industry, and I saw so many people struggling with mental health, people that you wouldn't even imagine. Are struggling with mental health. And I think we all have mental health, and we all have to find ways to deal with our own personal mental health. So I'm always going to acknowledge mental health. And I want to ask you, Edwin, when you hear mental health, what does that mean to you? And what are some things people can do to take care of their own mental health?
Great questions. And I think it's something that's truly important in someone's lifestyle and understanding what that looks like. But when I hear the word mental health, I think about the state of my mental well-being. So the thoughts, my feelings, the experiences I go through on a daily basis. For me, mental health is interconnected with everything I do in my life. So when one thing changes, it can affect other areas of my life. And take, for example, my physical health, right? When I participate in activities that I enjoy, it makes me feel happy. It's energizing, it's uplifting. My stress is reduced a little bit, which in turn influences my mental health in a positive way.
Exactly.
Right? So being active allows me to be present in the moment in what I'm doing. It allows me to put my thoughts, my struggles on hold, even if it's just for a minute. Right? It just allows me to step outside my thoughts, and it gives me my mind a break. And more often than not, after being physically active, those thoughts and those struggles that I may have had tend to ease down, right? Yeah. I may even approach the challenges I was facing earlier with a new and a fresh perspective. Wow. So for the listeners out here, one way to check in on your mental well-being is by taking a moment during the day to pause and take a break and ask yourself, how am I feeling today? Right? Just check in. Mm-hmm. What are your current thoughts or my current thoughts running through my head? Right. Are the experience I'm having helping or hindering my overall well-being? And so when you can kind of begin to reflect on these and kind of become more aware of your current state, you can continue doing what you're doing or try to make necessary changes if needed. Sometimes it works and other times it doesn't, and that's okay. Right? My younger self would always try to fix everything on my own, like it's me or nobody. Yeah. And I think listeners maybe can attest to this, but I've come to realize that you don't have to do it alone, right? Knowing this now, I recommend everyone listening to reach out to those close to you, right? If you don't have a support system through family and friends, right, go out to your community center or other support systems around you that maybe you never thought were possible, and then can really lend a help to you, because sometimes we're not always in that perfect state, mental state, and that's okay. But understanding that there are people out there who have gone through the similar process that you maybe are experiencing, right, and saying, hey, and being a little vulnerable, right? And showing that, hey, this is okay. This is how I'm feeling. People around you will definitely understand, and you'll be surprised at how much benefit you may receive from that interaction.
Right. Wow. Yeah, that's really good. Mental well-being and checking in with yourself. I like how you said that, Ivan. You really got to check in, stop, pause. What are my current thoughts? What am I thinking right now? And there's always someone willing that you could talk to about, things that are going on in your head, right? So mental health is very important. It's interconnected with your day-to-day living. It's gonna affect what you do on a daily basis. If you're not mentally healthy, you're not gonna go out there and perform at the highest level, right? And it takes a lot of energy to really succeed out here, guys. So you got to check in with your mental health. So thank you, Ivan, for that. So, we're kind of wrapping up the show here. And before I ask you the final question, I just want to pause and say, you've transformed, man. You've done a 365-degree transformation, 365-degree transformation, Ivan. And this is great to see, man. I never would have thought this would have happened. How would I have known, but this is great to see that you've made a change or making a change in everybody's life. So continue doing what you're doing. Honestly, man, I got a page full of notes right here. I'm going to study this, man. I'm going to come back to this podcast. I'm going to study this because everything that you said here, I'm going to apply to my life because I want to grow. I want to improve. I'm still learning. And that's why I have this show, because I want to learn. This became my passion, and this is why I'm doing it. I want to grow, I want to learn, and no better person to have than you on the show to educate us and help us grow and develop. So thank you, my friend. So the final question here, that I have for you, Ivan, is we talk about mentorship, right? A lot of people say, I don't need a mentor, or I need a mentor, or mentors are too expensive, or what's the point of mentorship? Or, mentors are just people that are out there to take your money. So do you need a mentor? And if so, how does one go about getting a mentor?
It's a good points you mentioned, and I think a lot of times, a lot of people do get afraid of that. Whether, like you mentioned, it's an affordability cost. Maybe it's going to be someone who's going to be not necessarily out there for good intentions. But I believe we all need mentors, and mentors come in many different forms, right? I personally always look for mentors myself, and I will also never stop looking for mentors. And what I kind of tell people is there's like a 33% split three ways. So the first 33% is I'm going to be looking for mentors.
Yep.
Right? I want to have mentors. Other 33% is myself. I'm focusing on myself.
Right.
And actually the last 33% is going to be, I'm going to help other people, help them now through what I've been going through. So if you kind of find that balance and focusing on mentors, because they do provide guidance, wisdom, and just perspectives on things that maybe we've never even thought about or gone through. And so if we're looking, for example, a career in a passion of yours, talk to someone who has been through that passion of yours, and how does it look like? Right? I know when I was in school, I asked people, my initial thought was being an athletic therapist for a sports team. I thought it was the best job. I'll be traveling with sports teams. But then I talked to a worker who's been in the field for 15 years, like, yeah, it's tough work. You're always traveling. You're always on the road. Yeah. I'm like, ooh, I want a family. I don't want to necessarily be on the road. I want to stay local. And so that was a complete change for me. So I think it's really important to ask people around and just a conversation with somebody, and they can become your mentor, right? So it doesn't have to be a transactional change, right? You maybe can get value in other ways for this person. And so a few suggestions that I would say on how to get a mentor is, before getting one, actually ask yourself, what am I looking for in a mentor, right? Someone to help me? Is it someone to support me? Is it someone to show me the way, to help me direct my career choices? The more you can be clear about this, the better experience you'll get from it. Wow. And so it's really important before you even start looking for one, because I think a lot of times we look for people just because it was told to be done in our school classes, or hey, it's part of our volunteer work. We got to find a mentor, and maybe we don't necessarily know what we're looking for. Yep. So I would also reach out to your existing network, because maybe there's people around you that you don't even know, or who are willing to provide or help you out in whatever it is. Mm-hmm. And so whether it's a school, whether it's within your community, your place of worship, or even at your work, right? And it could be those opportunities that you can actually just shadow someone at their job. Like, I'm just going to be here. I'm going to shadow you for 1 hour a day. Just watching can really add a lot of value and provide that extra sort of perspective that you never imagined was part of that job. It's true.
Yeah, I really like that. Thank you, Ivan. So you got to know, what am I looking for in a mentor, right? And you can find mentors at a very low cost, or not a cost at all, right? So there's always going to be mentors available for you, whether it's at your job, your place of worship, somebody in the community, someone online. So mentorship is good. I believe in mentorship. I wouldn't be where I am today if I didn't have a mentor, if I didn't have someone helping me out, giving me good advice, giving me wisdom, people that have been through what I'm going through in life. There's always someone who has gone through something that has gone through something in life that you are going to go through, right? So you got to realize that someone's already been through what you're going through. So mentorship is key. So I'd like to wrap the show up here. Wow, this has been so good. I've learned so much. It's been truly an honor to have you here, because you got so much going on. So I really thank you for coming on the show, Ivan. You've added so much value. So for our audience out there, Ivan, how can they reach you? Because you guys got to reach Ivan. You guys got to reach out to him, because this guy, he's put his work in. He's committed to his clients. He's committed to himself. He's truthful to himself. He's disciplined. He's dedicated. And he has so much to offer you. If you want to get to that next level, reach out to Ivan. So Ivan, how can they reach you?
Yeah, I'm on social media. So Instagram is my biggest, I guess, way of promoting myself now. And so you can follow me at movewithivan is my hashtag. Also my website, if you want, Ivan or ivanmiskiv.com. And so that's, I think, my two biggest sources of getting some good information for those who are willing. And I also have a YouTube channel, which is Ivan Miskiv Fitness. So that's a great kind of chance to see some resources, because I think it's all about having, because a lot of information out there these days, and I think a lot of us get confused on, and especially in my world and in our world, because there's so much information out there and it's so easily available on YouTube, on social media. And we think that, oh, this is the body what we want, or this is the thing we need, or it's important to, and it's my job, or at least I try to do it in a way that's going to give resources to people that they can actually use. That's going to give them direction, because it gets exhausting. And I think a lot of the times we get lost and we give up because it's just too hard. And so I try to give that value, and it's honest and it's genuine. And I hope the viewers who do end up following me can see that.
Great, Ivan. Thank you very much. And we can feel that you're extremely genuine. So I really hope the audience here really takes advantage of the opportunity to meet with Ivan, to work with Ivan, and to start your journey with Ivan. So again, move with Ivan, ivanmiskiv.com. So thank you very much for coming on the show, Ivan. I've learned so much. I really, truly appreciate it. And honestly, my friend, you have a bright future ahead of you. Keep killing it. And thanks again.
Thanks, Marcel.
Appreciate it. And remember, guys, Marcel Mindset on Instagram. Hit that like button below and subscribe to the channel. Thank you, my friend. All the best.